Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth one inside, right?
Yep.
St. Martin. It's 6:01.
My camera is not working, so you'll just see my picture the whole time.
That's fine. The lighting is nice on that picture. Great. All right. Is that all was expected? Do we have a? All right. Great. All right. We'll call this meeting to order at 6:01 p.m. for the regular Planning Commission meeting for Tuesday, January 11th, 2022. Can we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Commissioner Black? Oh, I know you're here. Commissioner Black? Okay, I'm going to mark her as present because we know she's here. She might be having some audio issues. Commissioner Colindres?
We can't hear you, Nicole, if you're talking.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, all right, let me do roll call again. Commissioner Black?
Here,
Commissioner Colindres?
Here.
Commissioner St. Martin?
Here.
Vice Chair Smith?
Here.
And Chairman Stevens?
Here. All right, the Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner St. Martin, could you please lead us and stand for the pledge?
Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner St. Martin. Are there any adjustments to the agenda?
No adjustments.
Any conflict of interest disclosures?
None.
All right. This is the public comment period for items not on the agenda. This meeting will be open to the public and conducted in a virtual format to be inclusive of all participation preferences. Public comment participation is encouraged by emailing any comments to the city clerk's office or by calling in using the phone number provided on the front of the agenda. Are there any public comments?
I have no written comments. Heather, do we have anyone for this portion of the meeting?
Not for public comment.
Great. Move on with our agenda. Our first item is the reorganization of the Planning Commission. And can we have a staff report, please?
Yes. Sorry, give me just a second. I don't want to go from memory.
Sure.
Commissioners, annually the Planning Commission has the opportunity for reorganization to appoint a chair and a vice chair to the commission. There is currently no policy in place for the process of such appointment. However, last year City Council adopted a process in the selection of mayor and mayor pro tem, and the Planning Commission chose to follow the same sequence and created a rotational list based on tenure. And I've attached that list just as a reference, and then I also put the list of the current positions so that you can use that as a reference also. And recommendation is to select or nominate, I should say, nominate a chair and vice chair. And this can be done in 2 separate motions or in 1 motion together. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So according to the list, the rotational list, the next in line would be Nathan Smith, Commissioner Smith, for chair, and Anthony Calendres would be the next, because Mr. St. Martin has resigned. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. If we, do we have a motion and a second for Commissioner Smith and as chair and Commissioner Calendres as vice chair?
So moved.
I second.
Motion and a second. Can we have a roll call or a roll call vote, right? Correct on that?
Yes. Commissioner Black,
Yes.
Commissioner Calendres,
Yes.
Commissioner St. Martin,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
and Commissioner Stevens.
Yes. Okay, Mr. Smith, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Stevens. And first off, thank you for sitting as chair for the last year. I think you did a real good job there, and hope to be able to continue with that and keep the meetings moving forward as easily as possible. So thank you for your service, and I hope to follow in your footsteps.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, so moving on tonight, item number 2 on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from December 14th. Is there any comment on the minutes? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve?
Second?
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Black,
Yes.
Commissioner St. Martin,
Yes.
Commissioner Stevens, Vice Chair Calendres,
Yes.
and Chairman Smith.
Yes. All right, moving on to item number 3, plot plan PP 2020-0317 and environmental ENV 2021-0015 for the construction and operation of the 16,823 square foot industrial building with 3 suites located on the north side of First Street between Ville and Grace Avenues. This is in the manufacturing zone. And staff report, please.
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. Before you tonight is an application for a plot plan that was submitted to the city on October 30th, 2020. We did place a public notice in the Press Enterprise and notified property owners within a 300-foot radius regarding tonight's public hearing. No comments have been received to date. The municipal code does allow a variety of manufacturing uses in the manufacturing zone that are permitted by right. For the Beaumont Municipal Code, section 17.02.070.f, the code does allow the Planning Commission to approve, conditionally approve, or deny plot plan applications. The property is zoned manufacturing and it has general plan land use designation of industrial. The subject property is surrounded by similar zoning and land use designations with the exception of the property to the south that is zoned residential traditional neighborhood with a general plan designation of traditional neighborhood. The site is currently vacant and has no existing improvements on First Street. The applicant is proposing to construct a 16,823 square foot industrial building with 3 tenant spaces, including curb gutter and sidewalk. The proposed building is 28 feet high and will be constructed on a 1.02 acre property that's located on the north side of First Street between Ville and Grace. The building would be constructed as a concrete tilt-up slab on grade. High-Tech Manufacturing, Inc., which is owned by the applicant, will occupy the largest suite, which is approximately 9,500 square feet. The company manufactures machine parts for metal and plastic on computer numerical control machines. The 2 smaller suites, one of them will be for the high-tech machine sales staff, and the other suite has not been identified for a tenant at this time. Per the Beaumont Municipal Code, general manufacturing uses are calculated to provide at least one parking space for each 500 square feet of gross floor area. The new construction is required to provide a minimum of 34 parking spaces, which is the number of parking spaces that they are providing. The project will operate from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday. The project as proposed includes 7 employees working 2 shifts for the main tenant and 2 employees in one of the smaller suites. Due to the scope of the project, a draft initial study and mitigated negative declaration was prepared and circulated for a 30-day public review period from June 14th, 2020 to July 14th, 2020. No formal agency comments were received during or after the comment period. The required plot plan findings can be adequately met and are included in your staff report. So at this time, staff recommends that the Planning Commission open the public hearing and then adopt the mitigated negative declaration and mitigation monitoring and reporting program and approve plot plan PP 2020-0317 subject to the conditions of approval. This concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. We also have Public Works on the line to answer questions. And then I believe we do have the applicant and the applicant's representatives on the phone. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any commissioner questions for staff at this point? All right, hearing none. The applicant is on the line. Does the applicant have a presentation or anything that they would like to add to the record?
I don't know if they,
Sorry, go ahead, Carol.
I don't know if they have a presentation. I think they just wanted to participate in the call, but we can go on and ask them.
If there's not a presentation, we can just come to them during the public hearing then. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and open the public hearing then at 6:13 p.m. Do we have anybody on the line who wishes to comment?
I believe we have 2 callers on the line. Is that correct, Heather?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Okay.
You want to go ahead and send the first caller in, please?
Yes, the first caller will be John McClure.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Just waiting on Mr. McClure.
Mr. McClure, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay, go ahead. You're on the line.
Hi. Thanks for having me on here. I just was joining the meeting to see if you guys had any questions specific for me or anything like that.
Not hearing it at this time. We may come
I have a question.
back to you. Okay, yes, go ahead.
I know that we said metal and plastic manufacturer. So I'm not looking.
Yes.
I'm looking at the plan here. I don't see any dock doors. My thing is this gonna? How many like trucks or deliveries like of materials are you bringing in, or average per day? Just because I know that Veely up over there by the 10 gets really backed up on just because of the train tracks there.
Right. We actually pick up majority of our own metal, but we also do get vendors to deliver periodically. But that would be, where we're at right now, probably twice a week at the most, that we have somebody deliver to us. Other than that, we go pick up all of our own materials.
Okay. To follow up with that question, any trucks that you would expect, I'm guessing would be 2-axle, maybe 3-axle?
Yeah, they're like flatbed or stake bed type trucks.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Once in a while, we'll get like a Roadrunner truck or something if it has to come from back east or out of state, but that's very, very infrequent.
Commissioner Calendris, does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Do we have any
Yeah.
other questions for the applicant?
No, I think I had a question for staff.
Before we let the applicant go, I just want to make sure, one last call.
I think your mic.
Any other questions for the applicant?
I have a question, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
What route are the trucks going to be using to get into that area?
Was that question for me?
Yes.
I presume that if they come from, say, the 10 freeway or the 60, they would get off at 6th Street off ramp. Otherwise, if they're coming from westbound, then they would get off at Beaumont Avenue and come down to 1st Street there.
Okay, you're not going to be using 4th Street through the barrio, are you?
4th Street?
Yes.
I don't have any plans on. I mean, I don't set up the truck routing as far as trucks come in to deliver. But I would presume that they would take the most direct route, which would
That
be
is a
Beaumont Avenue
residential
over to-
area. And at, would you say 6 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning?
Are you talking about over by where the substation is?
I'm sorry?
Are you talking about where like the Edison substation is?
Correct.
That street?
Yes.
Yeah. No. Like I said, any truck that I would presume would be coming up, say, Vale, if they got off at 6th Street, if they were on, say, the 10 eastbound, if they were on the 10 westbound, they'd be getting off at Beaumont Avenue and dropping down to 1st.
Okay.
I don't
All right.
see any reason they would go across.
And then over on Ville?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
If no other questions then, Mr. McClure, thank you.
Absolutely.
Anybody else on the line who wishes to make a comment?
Heather, do we still have another caller on the line?
Yes, we have one more caller. It's going to be John Dykes.
Okay, thank you. You can go ahead and transfer it in.
Right.
Mr. Dykes, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay, go ahead. You're on the line.
Good evening, commissioners and staff. My name is John Dykes. I'm with the architect for FTC Commercial on the project.
Do you have any comment or anything you want to add, or just an introduction and make yourself available?
Well, actually, hopefully I can have a little bit of clarification just so you know what the status is on a couple things. My name is John Dykes. I'm with FTC Commercial, the architect on the project. Basically, I can answer any questions about the design itself, but update on a couple things that I didn't necessarily see in here. We have a meeting. One of the requirements was for water district acceptance. We are they're going through an annexation process right now, and we have a board meeting on that scheduled for tomorrow night. And then we also have one of the requirements was dedication of right-of-way due to the new general plan. We had turned all that paperwork into the city. I guess there was some clerical issues as far as the form being updated, and we didn't have the right form, so we are resubmitting that, but we have started that process as well.
Great, thank you. My understanding would be that would be a requirement for construction and occupancy to be able to move forward. So I think you're ahead of the game a little bit on that one. So thank you for being ahead.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Any other questions for the architect? All right, hearing none. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, with that, do we have any other comments online or in the room? I don't think there's anybody in the room, but,
I have
I have
no
no
other.
more calls.
Oh, I'm sorry.
okay. So we will then close the public hearing at 6:21. Any other additional questions for staff?
No, I thought I had one, but looking at the map, it's outside of the enough of the project that I can ask offline or at another time.
Okay. All right, so do we have a motion at this time?
I'll move to approve plot plan 2020-0317 and environmental ENV 2021-0015 as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Black,
Yes.
Commissioner St. Martin,
Yes.
Commissioner Stevens,
Yes.
Vice Chair Colindres,
Yes.
and Chairman Smith.
Yes. All right. Well, I wish you the best of luck with your business endeavor, and may you be here a long time making the parts that you do. All right. Moving on to item number 4. It's conduct a continued public hearing and consideration for CUP 2021-0058 for a request to allow a headstone manufacturing and retail shop located at 506 Wellwood Avenue in the commercial neighborhood zone. Do we have a staff report, please?
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. This came before the Planning Commission in September of last year, and we recommended that it be continued because there are some issues with ownership authorization. The applicant still has not resolved the ownership authorization for this particular entitlement application, and they are requesting that this be continued off calendar. So we are not recommending continuing the public hearing, but just re-advertising once those issues are resolved.
Okay. So just point of procedure then, do we need to close the public hearing that we have, or do we just move on?
We close the public hearing. We'll re-advertise when they're ready.
Okay. So with that being the applicant's request, we will then close the public hearing for this item at 6:23. And move on to Community Development Director comments.
Do we need a motion to continue the item off calendar?
I think you can do either, since it's not a
Okay.
date set. It's not required, but either
Okay.
way, whichever way the commission wants.
I'm good either way. I just want to make sure we didn't need it as a requirement.
Nope. Yeah, Ms. We all right? If you say we're good, then I'll go with that.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, before you close the meeting, I'd like to make a comment.
Oh, please.
This being my last meeting, I wanted to say thank you for being able to serve with all of you. It's been my honor to do so. And I want to thank the staff for their professionalism and the way they have conducted these meetings. I'm looking forward to now retiring and enjoying a little more travel. My wife is in the gallery here, and from this point on, we're looking forward to a new beginning. So we'll be moving to Florida probably early March. We've already sold our house here in Beaumont, so we have no choice now. There's no one here that would put us up, so we're going to have to leave. But anyways, thank you for great service, and hope to be back visiting sometime and see you all. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Congratulations and
Thank
thank
you.
you for your service.
Thank you, Commissioner Black.
Thank you, and I'm glad you're moving on to this new beginnings, as you call it, and just happy that and really a pleasure to serve with you. And thank you for your leadership in the past, and keep on traveling. Go on more cruises when they're safer, and please, that's really great.
Well,
Thank you very much for serving.
We're a week away from going through the Panama Canal.
Wow. That'll be fun. Mr. St. Martin, I've had the pleasure to serve with you, I think, on 2 different occasions now.
Yes, yes.
Once when I first came on board, and then as you've come back, and just the manner in which you handle yourself, and that you've conducted yourself has been a model for how to pattern my own behavior in conducting these hearings. And I appreciate all that I've learned from you. Appreciate what you've been able to give to this community, and I wish you the best of luck in Florida as well.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Christina, gonna miss you.
I'm going to miss you too. I'm trying not to be like, I'm not crying. I have a lot that I would like to say, but I will say thank you so much for your service on the commission and your service to the city in general. You've been on the commission the entire time I've been here in Beaumont, which is not nearly as long as you've been in here in Beaumont,
No.
but it has been an absolute honor and pleasure to work as staff to this commission while you've been on there. Your steady demeanor and your ability to somehow ask the important questions and direct a conversation without, getting everybody's cages rattled is something that will be missed. And, your wisdom and your ability to impart your knowledge, not just of the community, but of how to engage in these processes that we do with respect for each other is something that I will value. And I have learned from you over the 4 years that I've been here with the city now. So you'll be greatly missed. Thank you to your wife for loaning you to us all this time and for allowing you to contribute so much to the city as you have done. And of course, I wish you all the best in Florida. If you do change your mind, I have an extra room at my house and we'd be happy to host you if you decide you wanted to stay.
Thank you. And Carol, it was great working with you. We haven't had much interaction other than your reports, but I still appreciate the way you presented these reports. So it was great working with you.
It's been a pleasure working with you, Mr. St. Martin. I echo everyone else's comments, and it really just has been a pleasure. And I really appreciate the passion that you have for the city and trying to make it a better place. And I wish you all the luck and many happy travels. And again, it's just been really great to work with you.
Thank you all. Okay, Mr. Chairman, you can
Well,
close.
I think Nicole has a recognition that we'd like to have presented to you before we continue on with a couple other comments.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You better end it, Nate, before.
I'll let Christina with a couple more comments. And then I'll wrap it up.
I just have a couple quick ones. I'm sure many of you all are aware that City Hall is currently closed to the public. That took effect today. I do not believe we've set an end date at this time out on the notices that have been sent out. But city staff is all still working. We are available to the public. So if you hear or see or know of anybody that's having difficulties reaching someone at City Hall, feel free to direct them to the planning department via Carol or I using our email addresses, and we will happily get them in touch with whatever department they need to get in touch with. The doors at City Hall are still open. There are drop boxes and kiosks and things like that for residents that need to conduct regular business. But we do want to ensure that if anybody from the public needs to hear a voice from someone at City Hall, that they're able to do so. So feel free to share planning department information. And lastly, I believe I sent out an email to everybody about the Planning Commissioners Academy that's coming up in March. So it is up in Northern California. I believe it's San Ramon this year. With COVID, I don't know how everyone feels about travel or about attending conferences in person. I have not been made aware of anything that has changed as far as the conference goes. So if anyone is interested in attending, feel free to just email me directly, and we can talk about options and make accommodations if needed. Because of our membership with League of Cities and whatnot, we do still have the ability to access those materials and resources even if we don't attend the conference. So I'm willing to do that as well if that's more to the commission's comfort level. Instead of attending, we can just have access to the materials and presentations from the seminar. So feel free to just email me and let me know your preference, and we'll make sure that we get it accommodated. And having said that, I think that concludes my remarks for this evening.
All right, thank you. One final thank you to Mr. St. Martin, and we will close the Planning Commission hearing at 6:33 p.m. tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
You all.